This week, 21 Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives voted against honoring the Capitol police officers who helped protect the Capitol during the January 6th riots. And these are Republicans who have always been big supporters of, as they call it, backing the blue. Right? This is the Blue Lives Matter crowd, literally. The people who go out there, the Republicans who go out there every day and say that, no, we've got to protect our police officers. They're the victims here. Well, CNN wasn't having any of it. And CNN actually did a very excellent job of going through and calling out each one of these Republicans who claim that they love their police officers and then literally turned around and voted against not honoring the ones who saved their asses on January 6th. Here is just a small part of this supercut that CNN put together, calling out each one of these individuals. Take a look.
But in May, during National Police Week, she proclaimed that, quote, Republicans will always back the blue and honor their service. Always being the suspect word there.
Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, actual QAnon curious, she says she didn't vote for the bill because she wouldn't call it an insurrection. She once introduced legislation that awards gold medals to police in Minneapolis and Portland who protect Americans from, quote, Black Lives Matter domestic terrorists. She also said, in the face of this dangerous threat, our men and women in blue have stood strong by defending our streets, protecting storefronts, and restoring order. The heroic action of American law enforcement is the only force standing between us and total anarchy.
So this is John Rose of Tennessee.
Low morale is permeating police departments across our nation as rioters and lawbreakers repeatedly vilify, demonize, and verbally attack the thin blue line. At a time when police forces around the nation are themselves under attack, I want our law enforcement officers to know that I will continue to support the thin blue line.
Except when he doesn't. Rose also declared that, quote, if we do not support our police and stand up to this unprecedented violence, we will lose our democracy. We must use our freedom to defend our freedom, or we will lose our freedom.
And meet Andrew Clyde of Georgia. Even though he actually barricaded the door in the House chamber against rioters, he has a unique take on that experience.
You know, if you didn't know the TV footage was a video from January the 6th, you would actually think it was a normal tourist visit.
Now, Clyde also honored law enforcement during National Police Week. Quote, having worked with law enforcement for over 30 years, I know the risks our brave officers undergo on a daily basis. Thank you to the men and women of the Georgia police forces and across our nation for keeping us safe every day. Hashtag back the blue.
There is actually 6.5 more minutes of CNN calling out these individuals. If you want to watch the full clip, it's in the link in the video description. You can find it there. But here's the thing. What they've done with this clip is something that the media is supposed to do. Call out the hypocrisy. You know, call out when people are clearly lying to your faces and have been apparently for years. You don't get to go out there and say that, oh, I'm the biggest supporter of police officers in this country. I love them so much. Yeah, I'm not going to honor them now. To hell with that. No, because if we do that, that admits that we were actually in danger, that there was a threat on January 6th. You know, that's kind of the rationale that Marjorie Taylor Greene gave there. Like, well, I'm not going to honor them because it wasn't an insurrection. These were just good people. As Clyde says, oh, you just look like regular people on a tour. There was no threats. You were literally barricading the door, dude. Like you're sitting there with that giant armoire looking thing, pushing it up against the door like, dear God, keep them out of here. You know what the danger was that day. And the least you could do is honor those police officers who did, in fact, go in there to protect you. Let's not forget that one died shortly after that insurrection. Others were injured severely. So, yeah, I'm okay with giving them medals. But I think what this does is it exposes that Blue Lives Matter was never really about blue lives mattering to these people. The reason they came up with that slogan is because they needed to counter Black Lives Matter. They needed a talking point to rally behind. They needed their own emblem that they could put on their Facebook pages and put on their, vehicles, acting like they cared about the lives of police officers. They don't. But they suckered a lot of cops into thinking that they do. And that's all they wanted to do. It was less about Blue Lives Matter and more about Black Lives Don't Matter for these individuals. And their actions prove it. I don't know about you, but I was always taught growing up by my parents, actions speak louder than words. And I'm sure we've all heard that expression at some point in our lives. But we need to start applying that principle to these politicians. Actions speak louder than words. If you're going to go out there and claim that you're in the corner of the police officers, then you damn sure better be willing to go out there and vote to give them medals when they protect your sorry butts from your own supporters. It doesn't matter if it makes your supporters look bad. It doesn't matter if it contradicts, false statements you've made about what actually happened that day. You either support them or you don't. And now we know firmly where you really stand.